I mean, you don't have to smile for it. It's just recording. No, put that down. But we are recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. What should we talk about?
I probably the notes that I emailed you. I remember I sent you a bulleted list of talking points. Did you
No,
look did you look at the talking points, Micah?
no.
Well, I'm not surprised.
1, 2, 3, 4. You make me wanna die. Just trying to stay alive. Some days I wanna die, but I don't wanna say goodbye.
This is Slashers, your new favorite podcast about your new favorite horror media. My name is Aid, and with me, as always, well, I guess let me introduce to you
Yeah,
my.
read it. Read it.
I,
Word for word. And be enthused about it. I saw the look on your face.
I really don't want to read this.
No, you're going to, or I walk. Do you want me to walk? Have fun recording this episode by yourself, Adrian.
Good luck walking away in your closet, Micah. Okay.
Well, if I leave this, then I mean, Mikey could call me, I guess.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm sure Mikey would be more than happy to replace me with you anyway. So there's that.
I love my Mikey, but read it. And like I said, be enthused. I get that of which I have coming to me.
Okay, fine.
Right. Yeah.
Let me introduce you to my co-host. He's a sexy thing. He's a podcaster soldier. He escaped New York and he's big trouble.
Yeah.
He can go overboard with the puns, but you should see his bone tomahawk.
Yeah,
And
man.
he's sort of death proof, but we won't test that, ladies and gentlemen. The self-proclaimed Kurt Russell of podcasting, Micah.
Yeah, that's me. How you doing? And if anything, you're gonna be my Goldie Hawn, because if I ever get you on a boat, I'm gonna put you in a fucking coma.
Oh my God.
How you doing?
I hope everybody heard that in case I ever go missing. I am great, Micah. Thank you for asking.
Well, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here. This is a lot of fun. It's just me and you this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, the topic today, everybody is Grindhouse, and no one ever is enthusiastic about it. And I just so happened to mention it to Micah, and I don't know if he was just trying to pander to me or what, but he's here because he's the only
Pretty
person who
lady
cares
tells
about
me
it.
what they like. There's a good chance I'm gonna agree with them because I fucking hate this movie.
Okay, it's two films.
Oh
Okay,
shit, there is.
Yes, there's.
Oh boy.
Did you not see my background? Why do you think I have? Okay, you
I
know
thought
that.
you just like Kurt. Of course I do. I'm just messing
my
with you. I
God.
love Grindhouse.
I need Mikey.
Don't we all?
Okay. So today Micah's joining me because I wanted to do the Grindhouse films, and I thought, well, we're gonna talk about Grindhouse from 2007. I also wanted to touch base on like what Grindhouse films were in the 70s and 80s, a little bit of history and background, because again, we are an informative podcast. You're here to learn something and not just hear us.
Edutainment.
Edutainment, sure. Yeah, you're just not going to hear us talk shit while we're drunk for an hour, which was pretty much last week's episode. So.
Okay, yeah, but you could get actual facts from the Slashers podcast. If you're going to listen to my show, Damn That's Scary, I would not use that on any book report.
Well, and that's the thing. So it's, I'm hoping that you guys understand that there's a lot of, I'm not saying this about Damn That's Scary, I'm saying this about Slashers podcast, that there is a lot of time and effort that goes into our research.
A lot of prep.
A lot of prep. And in fact, I spent a lot of my day on Saturday for this episode because I was really excited about it. There was a lot of movies on the Grindhouse list that I never knew were Grindhouse films.
Oh, yeah.
AKA exploitation films. Yeah.
Just exploitation to a T. Basically every Roger Corman film ever made.
Well, of course. But that's to be expected. But did you know that Halloween was a Grindhouse film?
Yes, due to the low budget and the fact that it was in rotation in multiple drive-ins. Played as a double feature with other films that came out around the same time.
Okay. Well, Halloween was, and so was Black Christmas, which I had no idea. I was like completely I mean, I guess I get it. It was okay. I know
That
you want to speak. Go ahead and speak.
sorry, that kind of surprised me a little bit. You actually said it was your favorite exploitation film. I guess we'll get to that later. But see, my idea of these grindhouse features are more like that grimy New York City feel, or the real dirty ones like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or like kids shouldn't play with dead things. The fact
Yeah.
that Black Christmas, which to me I consider to be a very highbrow slasher, is a grindhouse film, kind of surprised me a bit.
Okay. We'll just talk about that really quickly right now because I feel at the time it would have been exploitative because of the dealing with abortion, dealing
Okay.
with the things that the killer says on the phone, like "I want to lick your pretty pink cunt." Like people don't even say that now. So I think I can't believe I just said that. Now it's gonna be a sound bite. It's gonna go around the school. Yay. Um,
I'm aroused.
like things of that nature. I understand I spit on your grave. I understand Cannibal Holocaust. I was
Yeah.
surprised to see Black Christmas only because I figured, like you said, it is a little more highbrow, but at the end of the day, at the time for the content that it was dealing with and the fact that the women were very overtly sexual in that film, especially Barb and, even, Olivia Hussey's character, Jess, like I'm not surprised after I
Yeah.
thought about it. So you have to think about it a little bit, but obviously some more on this list, and we may as well just talk about that I saw that were horror, exclusively horror, because I didn't go into all of them. But we have Cannibal Holocaust, I Spit on Your Grave, obviously.
Yeah.
The Last House on the Left, obviously.
That's the Wes
Maniac.
Craven's first.
I know. And I do like I like the Last House on the Left remake a lot.
Do
But
you?
I do. I like that
I,
remake.
they made it. They kind of gave it like that, a little bit of a happier ending, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like the old Grindhouse films, they were very balls to the wall. They left you kind of feeling maybe like empty, but it's. I felt like those old films were a little more realistic in a sense. Like the girl was dead. They killed her at the beginning of at the end of the second act, and then the third act, of course, is the parents getting the revenge. Where
Yeah.
the remake is still brutal as fuck, but I felt like they kind of took that modern day approach of let's let's give the audience a happier ending, and not just the fact that they saved the daughter, they saved the kid that was kind of like a prisoner, where in the original they straight up slit his fucking throat. They didn't care. I mean, their daughter's dead. They went out for blood. That's what I like about the old Grindhouse movies. I know you're in the middle of the list right now, but it's like, Abe, like what Grindhouse features, I feel is like a lost art. Would you agree with that?
I agree and I disagree because, and I
Okay.
don't know if it's so much of a lost art because the Grindhouse films we're talking about today are the double feature from 2007.
I,
They sort of bring it back.
I don't know if it brought it back as much as it did play homage to the
Well,
Grindhouse films of the 70s, 80s, and late 60s.
but I disagree with you there because out of all of those, we get Machete after that, and
Mm,
Machete was not
good. I was going to correct you.
okay, shush. Was not I don't need you to mansplain to me, Micah. Okay.
I don't know.
See, all I need is a gun on my leg and walk around in a leather miniskirt and you'd listen to me. So there. Anyway,
Yes, ma'am.
um, so I whatever, here nor there. I just think that
It's
because we have much of it that came out like right after that, or because of the trailer, which I found out during my research that Robert Rodriguez had wrote that for Danny Trejo in the early 90s,
oh
and I had
yeah,
no
yeah.
idea.
This
And
that shit happens all the time where movies are meant to be made years and years and years prior, but they just fall through the cracks, either funding, timing, stuff like that, other contracts and shit. Uh, but when it finally comes through, like it's all fucking worth it. Like this may be a bad example, but the X-Men movie was supposed to come out in like 1994, but then it popped out in like what 2001, and originally like Glenn Danzig was supposed to be Wolverine and shit. It's these things happen all the time. Uh, but you know, it's I feel like the Grindhouse movies are a lost art, but there's a lot of films that try to play homage to them, or they try to copy that feel. But it's when you do these films on like a digital camera, and then you add the effects afterwards, it just doesn't have that same feel, that same graininess of the fact that they were just using old like 9mm equipment. And you know,
Well, a lot of them are getting destroyed too because they were just passed around from theater to theater and they would get destroyed along the way. They were overplayed,
yep, yeah,
obviously, because they're
exactly.
I see the appeal with the Grindhouse films, especially back in the 70s and 80s, but apparently that there has been like from the article that I sent you, they were discussing about like they even started like movies like in the Grindhouse fashion, like from the 1920s, right? Because it's not out of left field to think that because even like the Wizard of Oz, for example, came out in like 32, right?
Yeah,
So I'm not surprised. And we didn't have TV the way we have it now. Like now we can stream everything. Why would you go to the theater and sit there all night and watch these exploitative movies when you can just download them on your screen?
well, you could
So,
just go smoke a joint and get a hand job and eat some shitty popcorn. I mean, that sounds like a great time to me.
well, okay, I'm sure I know a lot of people did that. I mean, you look at movies like Taxi and, things,
Oh,
the very
great
seediness of
movie.
it all. It is grimy, it's disgusting, it's sticky. Like you just feel gross when you watch films like this, right?
Just like the floor at Pee Wee Herman's movie theater.
Oh my God. My God, why did you say that? Anyways. But I mean, so if we're gonna again agree, and so for those of you who don't know, and we do have a lot of listeners who are way younger than
Educated.
we are.
Oh,
No, I'm just saying shut up. That are younger who are younger than we are because we're old. Okay. And we weren't even alive when these, well, you were. But I think they started to die out by the time I came around. Um
I'm aging like a fine wine.
well, you know what? I did see some old pictures of you and you do look 1,000 times better now. So good for you, Micah.
Thanks, Aid. I really appreciate that.
But that's how it is with men. That's like, when Leslie Mann is yelling at Paul Rudd and this is 40, she's like, he just keeps looking better and better. And I'm getting old. Like, what is that? I don't know what that is with guys.
I don't know,
Um,
Aid. I actually saw some old pics of you. I may have socked you a little bit.
oh my
And
God.
the same thing. I think you look better now than you did years ago.
I had no
So
eyebrows. It was the
you're
early
aging.
2000s, Micah.
Oh, that was the style of the
That
time,
was the
just the same
style.
way I used to wear Jinkos and a skin tight, shiny shirt.
But again, so if we think about this, even back then, like, early 2000s, late 90s, like Grindhouse is done by this point.
Yeah, it
But
takes a lot, Giuliani.
but a
Cleaning
grind
up New York City, making it safe, and not keeping the grime and filth. There's one thing Grindhouse and exploitation taught me is that New York City was the most fucking dangerous place on earth, and it was sticky and always steamy, and you were constantly sweating.
well, even okay, so when we covered last year, we talked about cruising and
Mm,
even in Frankenhooker last year, and both films
love
sort of like
Frankenhooker.
kind of yeah, I really enjoyed it. I had never seen it until we did the show, and that was a lot of fun for me.
Frank
So it's one of
Henenlotter,
my favorite episodes.
he's incredible. He does some of my favorite films. Like you're talking Frankenhooker. You talk about a grindhouse film that is just unfucking touchable. Basket Case.
Oh yeah, Basket Case obviously is on the
Yeah.
list for
Oh
the Grindhouse
god
films.
damn, I love that fucking
So
movie.
if you're and you can watch both Frankenhooker and Basket Case on Tubi, everyone. So if you're listening and you want to check those out and you still haven't watched them yet, go ahead and watch them and then go ahead and go back to our Frankenhooker episode because literally it is still one of my favorite episodes to this day. So that I did on Slashers podcast. Not damn that's scary. I don't know if you guys did it or not, but
Did you say Flashers podcast?
Flashers, not Flashers podcast. I'm not
Wait,
flashing you.
Flashers podcast?
You know,
No? Okay. Well, all right, whatever. Fine. Sorry, everybody.
okay. See, Micah, this is why we have to talk about etiquette on the
Oh.
show because clearly somebody in
Hmm.
this room does not have one, or should I
Well,
say
I'm in the closet.
closet. Okay. Anyway,
Just like Eminem, I'm sorry, Aid, but tonight I'm something in my closet.
What is that?
Remember that
Anyways,
song? Cleaning out.
cleaning out the closet. You're right. I
Cleaning
know.
out my closet. And Eminem's just like digging a grave, whatever. Rain's
I know.
coming down on him.
It's like my brother's favorite artist. He fucking loves Eminem. It's like even to this day,
To this day.
his favorite thing is Eminem. I'm like,
Oh, Eminem's incredible. Like
I do like him, but
I don't know anybody that actually hates Eminem. Like, come on.
well, he's got some issues. But anyways, a Grindhouse film back to our regularly scheduled programming. I wish Micah was here to like bring us back.
I'm
A-
Micah.
Or no, Mikey. Did I say Micah? I meant Mikey.
You did.
Excuse me.
Freud was right.
A grindhouse or action house is an American term for a theater that mainly shows low budget horror, splatter, and exploitation films for adults. So, if you didn't know what they were, or you just thought it was a Quentin Tarantino thing, you'd be wrong because this, was a thing forever.
I
So-
feel like you and I were born at the wrong time because could you imagine being our age now and like, or even just younger, being like, hey, let's go over to the theater and watch 2 fucking movies back to back full of gore and boobs and just
You might have
damn
more
it.
fun with that than me. I think it'd be fun to be like
No, no,
17,
no, no,
18,
no.
19 watching
You
them.
would have a great time. Oh, sneaking in those theaters? Are you kidding me? Oh, that would be great. I
They
would
didn't,
have so much fun.
they weren't checking IDs back then. Unless you look like a 12-year-old, everybody got in there. All these kids were going in and seeing these films. Like, let's not split hairs here. There's
Absolutely.
teenagers working the box office. You think they give a fuck who went in there?
No, they're back there listening to Twisted Sister blowing coke. They don't give a fuck.
I know, exactly. Or fucking around like a Night of the Comet. So
Oh god damn it. I love Night of the Comet, but
Love
that's
that.
more of an LA movie. I don't that's not Grindhouse.
no, it's not Grindhouse. I just had
Not
to mention that.
Grindhouse. That's an LA movie, just like fucking. I almost said Mallrats because I'm wearing the slashers tank.
Oh
here.
yeah, show everybody how cute it is.
Oh, look at this. I'm adorable.
Go ahead and flash the camera. See everybody, if you want to look like Micah, you need to go to slasherspod.redbubble.com and pick up the Mars Rats t-shirt, the ack ack ack, designed by Jake. So that's
The late Jake
the late. No, he's fine.
rolling in his
everybody.
grave.
Oh my God, he's fine. Anyways, so back to the thing. So I really wanted to talk about Grindhouse, one, because I really enjoyed them back in the day and I can't believe it was 2007. Like, where the
Oh
fuck
my god.
did the fucking
Right?
time go? Because
I feel like I just saw this in the theaters like 5 years ago, Aid.
I know. Well, I graduated in 2006.
Oh, good for you.
They came out in 2007. I know. I'm still younger than you, so at least I have that.
Yeah, you're
And
white too.
shut up. But yeah, so I can't believe it was that long ago, and rewatching them both recently because one of them popped up on Tubi and I was like, all right, I fucking love Planet Terror. For some reason I have a copy of Death Proof, but I think it was because one of my ex-boyfriends was like obsessed with that movie and I think I took it despite him. So I have a copy.
Atta girl. Take that shit.
I totally did.
I had a girlfriend that was obsessed with these fucking like $300 stilettos, and I took that shit. I can't wear them.
Oh,
but I
well,
took
if you
'em.
still have them, feel free to send them my way because I will wear them. I do not give a fuck. Anyways, so back to whatever. So I really wanted to do it because I think that this doesn't get enough love, especially with Planet Terror. We'll get into Planet Terror second. I kind of want to talk about Death Proof first. Or is that okay with you?
No, of course that's okay with me. But what you just said, total truth. Like, Planet Terror does not get enough love.
Well, there's a reason for that, and I found out the cheese may, and I'm so excited to share it with everybody.
Wait, really? There's a reason?
There's a reason. Oh,
don't
there's a
know it.
reason. Oh, you don't know the reason?
Are we gonna? I don't know the reason. I'm so
Oh my
excited about the reason.
God. Do we save it for the ending or do we just talk about it now? I guess we can talk about it now.
No. Let's talk about Death Proof and then let's talk about Planet Terror.
Okay,
Let's
we're
let's save the best for last.
Well, okay. So that's why I wanted to get into Death Proof first. There's a lot of fun like trivia and shit with Death Proof.
Oh
And
my
so
god, so many Easter eggs.
Oh my gosh, yes. There's a lot of Easter eggs. I
Yeah.
didn't really write them down because a lot of people, especially with the intro today, if you're not a fan of Kurt Russell back in the day and you only know him from he's over here, I guess. If you only know
No,
him
no, no,
from
he's right here.
yeah, he's right there in the closet.
Well,
Um, if you didn't know him from back in the day and you only know him from the Santa Claus movie and the Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2, I guess he was in.
If
Was,
that's the
was he in
case,
that
you
one?
probably shouldn't be listening to this episode because you're probably really young.
I know you might be a little too young for this, sweetie. So, turn this off and turn it back on in a couple of years. Quentin Tarantino wanted Kurt Russell to like be a badass again because he was sick of him being, in these little
Yep. The
family
Disney
friendly.
films. Yep.
Yeah. And he was like, when is Kurt Russell going to be cool again? And Kurt Russell wasn't even his first choice. But my God, I'm so fucking happy that he had him because
Yep.
just I don't know if anyone could play him any better, like this character.
What was his first pick?
His first pick, so he had a couple of them. His first picks were, and I'm so surprised by one. And let me see if you can guess which one that you're surprised about. So before I get into that really quick, we're talking about Death Proof, which came out as a double feature with Planet Terror, and this was a thing with Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez. Eli Roth's a part of Death Proof, which is why I said that.
Well, also Eli Roth directed one of the faux trailers. Thanksgiving.
Okay, yeah. So Eli Roth is a part of it. Like he and Quentin Tarantino like to fan each other's nuts. We all know that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I took Doug's expression. I miss Doug. Okay,
we
so
all miss Doug. May he rest in peace.
he's fine, everybody. So anyway, stop saying that. It's bad juju. So he attempted to cast others. Tarantino wanted to cast other people for this role, and they're all good. Like all of these people, I'd be okay with, except for one. So again, I want you to tell me who you think I'm thinking of. So we had John Travolta, Willem Dafoe, John Malkovich, Ron Perlman, Cal Penn, Bruce Willis, and Sylvester Stallone.
Fucking Stallone? Oh my
Yes.
God, could you imagine? Hey, this car's death proof, but you gotta be in this seat right here. Hey.
I could see.
Hey, what am I doing here? Hey.
I could see all of them doing this though, like even Sylvester Stallone. But like,
did you say Sean Penn?
No, I said Cal Penn.
You said Cal Penn.
I said Cal Penn.
I could see Sean Penn doing
Sean Penn
before any of those other fuckers you mentioned.
Sean Penn was the one who inspired Quentin Tarantino to do this in the first place because they were drunk and they were fucking around one night, not fucking each other, but they were like talking shit.
They were sucking on toes.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there was like women involved.
Tarantino was like, hey, Sean Penn, I got an idea.
No,
licking on Uma Thurman's fucking foot that's like this, just like up and down like a fucking corn on the cob. And he's like, I got an idea for a movie. And Sean Penn's over there like, yeah, what is it? And then they came up with the fucking Death Proof shit, right?
No. That was not it at all. But thank you for the pantomime again. That's a good little, that's what we should put at the end of our little disclaimer. So
a disclaimer?
Well, you saw it earlier. You know what? If y'all want to see the disclaimer, patreon.com//spot, we're happy to share it with you.
Yeah, just have me sucking on toes left and right. I don't get the whole foot thing, but I mean, I'll suck on toes, whatever. I don't fucking care.
Okay. So without the toe sucking, they were talking, they were both drunk, and Sean Penn was telling Quentin Tarantino all about these, quote, death-proof stunt cars. Yeah. And that's where he got this idea. And so I think it's such a good idea because the car in and of itself is a character, right? Just like they used to be back in the day. And Kurt Russell was a part of a lot of those like films back in the day with these elaborate cars and their car chases and shit. And so just to have Kurt Russell involved in this, I think is a really good homage, as you would say.
Yeah, and I feel like as you said, like the car is actually a character, kind of like the way New York City is like the fifth Ghostbuster.
Yeah,
kind of like the way I feel like Kurt Russell's truck was a character in Big Trouble in Little China.
Mhm.
He was basically taking the Liam Neeson approach, trying to get his truck back. That was, at the end of the day, that's all he wanted. He didn't want that chick for Mannequin. He wanted his truck. He wanted the old Pork Chop Express, baby. Toot toot.
That was Kim Cattrall, metadata, metadata, metadata. Okay. So really quick, we're going to do, and I love her, so you shush.
Oh, she's great. A
really,
regular old Samantha.
I love her. Well, I
I
am
love Sex in
Samantha.
the City.
Samantha's the best. Like, the
Oh,
fact that
she's
she didn't come back.
absolutely the best. I,
But
she
I
didn't
am
come
glad
back
she didn't come
because
back. She
I'm
didn't
glad
need
she
to.
didn't because that was absolute dog shit.
It was
And
a
she
train
knew
wreck.
it. She knew it, and she didn't need the fucking money, or maybe she did, but she's better than that.
She's working on other things. She doesn't have the time anyways. So
Yeah, sorry. This isn't
we
the Sex in the City.
we will
podcast.
do an episode on Mannequin one day because I feel like that could be a horror movie. But anyway, so a quick recapitation, everybody. Two separate sets of voluptuous women are stalked at different times by a scarred stuntman who uses his quote death-proof car to execute his murderous plans. So really quickly,
That's how he gets
the,
off.
well, of course that's how he gets off, but that's not the point. Well, what's the point for him? But if we're going to talk about the statistics really quickly, and there is a very big difference. I was
Penis.
going to use a bigger word, but I'm not going to be PBS today. But there's a huge.
You're recording with me, babe.
Thank you, Micah. So the budget here, and I want you all to listen to this and remember the statistics for Death Proof and juxtapose them, as Jake would say, with the statistics from Planet Proof when we get to Planet Proof. All right, the Truly's kicking in. Planet Terror when we get to that in just a moment.
Can't wait to talk about Death Planet.
Oh my God. So, okay. So budget $30 million. It grossed $31 million its first release. But again, it was a double feature and it was cut down significantly. He re-released it later in the year. It made more money. And plus, they did not release either of these films as the Grindhouse thing across the world because that wasn't a shtick anywhere else except for America. So all of that I think is kind of convoluted. But if we're just going to stick with America, it grossed 31 million. Yay. April 6th, 2007. Oh my God. And it's competition. I want to talk about the competition really quick.
Oh, please do.
We have, and it's the same competition for Planet Terror. Obviously, they came out at the same time. It written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. The competition from this time, Vacancy with, Kate Beckinsale, Luke Wilson,
It's a good movie.
Ethan Embry. I like that movie, and
That's
it's
a
short.
good
It's short and
fucking movie.
sweet, and it's good.
Bingo.
Yeah.
I like a good short film.
The Marsh. I can't. You know what? When I was looking at the cover, I remembered what that movie was, and now I forgot again. So I guess it was
The Marsh.
The Marsh. Who was in that? Somebody's in that. Anyways, that's why I wrote it down. Forgot what the hell. Whatever. The Reaping with Hilary Swank and that one creepy chick, that little girl. Now she's grown and she's still in things. I forget her name. Lake Placid. Lake Placid Part 2.
Love it.
Those were all from April 2007, but from the rest of the year, listen to this list. This was a good list. I remember seeing all of these in the movie theater, drunk, high, whatever. It doesn't matter because I barely remember seeing them. But yeah, Disturbia with our Shia LaBeouf, which is my friend Claire's favorite movie. She loves that fucking movie.
That movie's so good. It's basically like Rear Window. I like a nice Hitchcock approach there, an updated Hitchcock. And
yeah,
goddamn, Shia LaBeouf gets such a bad rap. I love that fucking guy.
I mean, he might be a prick, but he's a great actor. So
I love. You know what?
Leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
This is my thing. I get so annoyed with people who expect celebrities to be nice and to cater to you. They're not here to cater to you. They're entertaining you on screen. That's their fucking job. Their job is not to sit around and suck your dick all fucking day. I'm sorry.
Kiss fucking. Wow, you said suck dick. I was gonna be like kiss your baby and shit. But
well, I remembered my audience today, so I didn't think you'd mind. Or not my audience. I'm
Uh,
sorry, my co-host.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I am your audience too. I listen to the show.
Okay.
But
Aw.
I don't know. I feel like you got somebody like fucking Ezra Miller who literally like pulls a gun on kids and is a fucking psychopath and was a they knew he was a crazy piece of shit before that stuff in Hawaii came out, but they're still like, yeah, you could be Flash. Hey, we'll have fucking Michael Keaton in your movie, whatever. But then everybody goes scorched earth on Shia LaBeouf because what the fuck did he even do? What
I
did he
mean,
do
I guess
wrong?
he might be a little abusive to his girlfriends, but I think it's
Who?
just Shia LaBeouf. Like, I think he has like some domestic issues,
Oh.
but I don't think that. Okay, I'm not defending anything, but it's from what I've read, it sounds like it was both ways. Like they just had a volatile relationship,
Oh,
and
just
when
like
it's,
Monica Keena and
I
why
who
did I
is she
just
with?
fucking Monica Keena was the final girl from
Yeah, I know
Freddy
who
Rich.
she is,
I
but I
know
didn't know
you
she
do.
had
I'm
some
sorry I
problems.
mansplained it to you. John Connor. How did I just fucking forget his name?
Edward Furlong?
Edward Furlong. Yeah, they've been together since
Ew.
they have been. I met Monica Keena last year, and they've been together since the 2009 Night of the Demons. Uh,
Why?
they he loves her, but they beat the fucking shit out of each other. Monica Keena had a fat lip when I met her, and it was from Ed Furlong. But at
No,
the
she gets a
same
lot of
time,
fillers though. Are
that
you
was
sure it was?
not filler.
You get
She
bruises
does
on your
she
face
does
when you
get
get.
work done, but she also beat the shit out of Ed Furlong a bunch of times because Ed Furlong is at a staggering 5'5", but he towers over Monica Keena, who's 5'1".
Well, who fucking cares about them? I'm just that. Well,
You
I
know
mean,
what?
but
Okay, yeah,
okay,
good point.
no, but at the end of the day, it's not. None of this is excusable. Any kind of domestic violence is inexcusable. So if you read my book, Last Call, A Toxic Love Story. If you ever
Great
read my
plug.
book, I have a disclaimer at the beginning. I'm not excusing any of this kind of behavior. I've just, been around it so long that, okay, why not write about it? So,
Hey, every Giallo film, the main lead smacks a woman, and then they have amazing, passionate love.
well, my thing, okay, don't smack each other. Like, don't keep your hands off each other, people,
Unless it's
unless
consensual.
consensual. Yeah. Yes, that's okay. But
My
anyway,
safety word is bananas.
thank you for sharing that with me, Micah, and the audience. Sorry, I'm sick. I'm gonna totally cut that out because I sound like a smoker. Anyways,
Yeah, have
um,
another one.
so we have The Reaping, we have Lake Placid Part 2. For the rest of the year, Disturbia, P2, Dead Silence, Wreck, 1408, Return to House on Haunted Hill, which I kind of like that. It's
Love
stupid,
it.
but I like it.
No, I love it.
Saw 4, which I love Saw 4.
I like Saw 4.
Saw 4 is really fucking good. 3 and 4 are my two favorites of the whole thing.
Oh, samesies.
And they're growing at the same time, right? So it's like, oh my God, I figured it all out when I saw 4. Yay. Resident Evil Extinction, The Hills Have Eyes 2, Wrong Turn 2, a lot of part 2s here.
I love Wrong Turn 2 with Henry Rollins.
Yeah, so we have that. We have The Hitcher, 30 Days of Night. Well, the
Hitcher's great.
Hitcher
30 Days a
remake.
Night. Yeah, I like that. I like
Hitcher,
it.
it's the remake. I just wanted everyone to know, not the old one, the remake.
Oh,
30.
they do.
Yeah, well, I'm just for the children listening.
Okay.
30 Days of Night. Oh my God.
Love it.
We did a whole episode on it, guys. So if you want to listen to our thoughts on it, please do.
Probably your best episode.
Well, I know, but I couldn't be on that episode. So I put my little blurb and my 2 cents in it. So that was cute.
There you go.
I know Who Killed Me with Lindsay Lohan. I do like that one.
You do?
I do like that one. And I
Oh
liked
my
it when I
God,
watched
okay.
it back then because I'm her age. So watching it, I don't know
You're
what.
as old as Lindsay Lohan?
Yeah, we're the same age.
Oh
How
my
old is
God,
Lindsay
Lindsay
Lohan?
Lohan. I thought Lindsay Lohan was older than me.
No, she's like 35, 36. How old is Lindsay Lohan?
That's
Okay.
a rough 35. I'm
Well,
not talking shit here, but I'm just
she looks
saying.
fine now. She
Oh.
did the whole I'm in Hollywood, so I gotta be skinny, like skinnier than she was. All right, I'm gonna look her up now.
Hey, while you're looking her up, I want to go back and retract to earlier.
She's
P2,
2 years older than me.
so she's my age.
She's 36. 2 years. You're not 2 years older than me.
Oh my God.
You're a lot older than me. I'm
I am a lot
34.
older than you. No, I
Thank
thought I
you.
was younger for a second. I didn't think you were older. Uh,
Uh-huh.
well, she looks like she's 45. Jesus. Um, P2, absolute blast.
Mhm.
And not enough people talk about Dead Silence.
No, Dead Silence is great. I'd love to do that. So if
It's
you
a
guys want to hear
banger.
it, slasherspod@gmail.com. Let us know.
Yep.
Such a good one, but we don't have time to talk about it right now because we're already halfway through the episode.
Whoops.
I'm not done with my list because I'm going to continue this list. You're going to be like mind blown. Like all of these movies came out this year.
I
'Cause
can't believe 2007 was such a banging year for
Yeah,
horror.
like who fucking knew? Like it's just
Do you want to know one of the
2007.
reasons why there were so many good horror movies at that time is because George Bush was in office. When a Republican is in office, this is a fact. Look it up. Horror is at an all-time high, especially zombie films.
Well, I mean, when we talked about this before, horror is basically a commentary on what's happening at the time.
Yep.
Like you look at a Serbian film, like people love to talk about that, right? Because it's
I don't.
exploitation, it's awful. I won't watch that movie, but I know that it is a huge commentary on their political system in Serbia. Obviously, it's very fucked up.
It's fine. I know some people that treat that movie like it's porn, and they're not okay.
Okay, well, I get people do that, but again, these are whatever. We'll get into that later, but
Sorry.
let me finish my list before
Go
you
ahead.
keep derailing me. You shush. Okay, as I tell the kids, shush, and they always laugh at that. I'm like, well, like everyone says that. Okay, so we have, again picking up at I Knew Who Killed Me, The Mist, Stephen King. Hello, which I did not see the ending. Quick story on that. I did not see the ending, and then I suggested to my mom, like, you got to watch this because she loves Stephen King. She hadn't read that book though. I was like, just watch, it's really good, but I hadn't finished it. I'm like, it's so good, it's so good, so good. You got to watch it. She finished it before I did. She calls me and she's like, why the fuck did you make me watch that movie?
And your mom's a sweetheart.
I didn't see the end of it.
Oh
I
no.
I didn't know the end. And then when I watched the end, I'm like, fuck my life. So anyway, sorry, Mom. The Messengers, which I like that one too. Blood and Chocolate. That's a guilty pleasure of mine. Hostel Part 2.
Banger.
Fucking amazing.
Absolute banger.
Trick or Treat.
Was waiting for you to get to that.
I
That
was
was
get-
the one film I
getting
knew.
there.
I knew 2007. The best film to come out in 2007. Trick or Treat. I got Sam right here on my arm.
I know.
I love
I
that
have his
fucking movie.
sucker on my side, so we're kind of
I'm
matching.
a real sucker for Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat. We have Rob Zombie's Halloween, 28 weeks later. The Girl Next Door. Stop farting on camera, Micah. It's unbecoming. The Invisible, The Invasion, The Orphanage, I Am Legend, and I threw in Hot Fuzz because Hot Fuzz kind of gets a little scary. Not scary, but it's pretty nasty. So,
Listen, those two can do no wrong. Love Hot Fuzz.
I love Hot Fuzz. So
Hot Fuzz is great.
So jumping into the rest of the film, we'll talk about it for a little bit longer and then we'll get into Planet Terror. But
Yes.
but this was a great fucking year for movies. So, and I, when I was looking at the budget and what they made, I'm not that surprised that these films didn't make as much as they should have, only based on my opinion that you have a lot of bigger, productions, fucking, but the Weinstein Company did Halloween, right? They're involved in these films. There is a reason why, which involves should I even say his name? I'm going to say his name, but it doesn't matter.
Say it. It sucks because he's so important in the history of films, especially the ones that you and I like, the Miramax films and all that. And
Dimension, yeah.
you could go back all the way to 1981, The Burning. He is very fucking important in the horror genre. And it's so hard to separate that piece of shit from the work that he did. And also, now I love Quentin Tarantino's movies. I fucking hate Quentin Tarantino, the person, because he fucking knew.
You know what? And I'm not surprised. And the reason I say this, and I'm not I'm not saying this as a man hater, and I know that some people like to say that I am. I'm not. I don't hate men. Obviously, I fuck them. So there you go.
Oh, neat,
I
neat. You never
I
scissor me timbers?
shut up. I don't hate men. What I hate is the fact that these things happen
And
because
being being compliant, like being silent is
yeah, they're being complicit with it, but
it's
but let me stop you there. And I'm not
sorry.
saying this in defense of anybody. I'm just saying this as this was a product of its time. This is how people behaved. This was what was fact. If you listen to our episode Mikey and I did with Jenna Cannell from Terrifier,
Yeah.
she talks about these things because even back then she was dealing with the same shit. This is something that is prevalent in Hollywood. It's prevalent in every job, honestly.
It's everywhere, and it's still
It's
happening.
it's still
Yeah.
happening, but we need to. The fact is that it happens, and people are just like they just put it in a compartment and they deal with it and they move on because it happens so often is disgusting in and of itself. Yes, it was a time. I'm not defending him. I just think that he did it as a result of being in this industry for so long, and this is just how things were. I'm not saying that I'm defending this at all. I'm not.
And I'm not defending it either. It sucks,
And
I try
sucks.
so hard because The Burning is one of my favorite slashers. But that was kind of the start of Weinstein's career. Um,
Hmm.
and
But The Burning
I
has a lot of problems that sort of kind of mimic the shit that Weinstein is all
yes,
about.
yes.
And so there's a lot, and we're going to discuss this in our next episode, so we can't talk about it now.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But my thing is that I love every Tarantino movie. I truly do. I think he's a fucking genius. Yeah, he steals a lot of his shit from old films, but I don't consider it stealing. Just like the Grindhouse films, it's an homage to the old Grindhouse films. It's he it's just it sucks. Harvey Weinstein funded all of his films. And and Tarantino knew what was going on. He was complicit, and it sucks so much, and it's so hard to separate the artist from the actual person. Um,
Yeah.
because
I go ahead.
one of my favorite films and my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie of all time is Reservoir Dogs. I love Harvey Keitel.
Mhm.
I love Michael Madsen so much, and that movie to me is the most perfect movie that's non-horror.
That's a
Uh,
great movie. Yeah.
it's incredible. It's a great movie if you're on a first date. Pop that in. It's Reservoir Dogs. It's just phenomenal. But the money that he got to make that film was from Harvey Weinstein. So it's so hard to be like the pain that he caused compared to the pleasure that these movies give us. It's just it sucks so much, Aid. Um,
But again, think about the times that these movies were made, and
it was the
this is just
style
a
of the
normal.
times.
This was just normal. This is how it was, and I'm not making that. It's not an excuse. It's not,
Yeah.
not at all.
Sorry, we're going off on a thing here.
We
Let's
are,
let's talk about Death Proof.
we are. But the last thing I will say that on that, if this shit continues to happen, right, and we're still supporting these things, that's a problem.
That is an
So
issue.
we're learning from this, and I hope that everybody is understanding where we're coming from with this. This is not preaching. This is fact.
Yeah.
And it's strange to me because I feel that in almost all of his movies, his women are so strong, and there's like these strong feminist aspects. We talk about Death Proof. These
Exactly.
women are they have so much sexual agency. Back to Death Proof, and let's talk about like so. At the beginning, it deals with these three best, these three girls that are going out drinking, partying, having a good time, and I don't think that they are murdered as a result of those things. Like most slashers, like a woman, exercising her sexual agency and just being naughty gets murdered because of that, right? No, this is they're having a good time. They get murdered in spite of that. And the second batch of girls, we have got Rosario Dawson, we've got Zoe Bell. Like
Love her.
I mean, seriously, this
Love
fucking
Zoe Bell.
cast, let's just go over the cast. Like, this is a really strong cast, all like
Oh,
We've
Incredible.
got,
both films. Great
oh
cast.
my God. I mean, and this movie is basically two separate films. You've got the first set of girls. You got Jungle Julia, played by Sydney Poitier. We've got
Yes.
Jordan Ladd as Shanna Banana. We've got Rose
her.
McGowan's in this as Pam. We have even the chick who plays Marcy, who doesn't die. She's amazing. Like we have all
She's
of these like
great. Yeah.
gorgeous women who are just so fucking
Beautiful
cool.
women.
Vanessa Ferlito, who does her little, lap dance on Kurt Russell. Like this,
I love her. I love her. And big thing about the movie, I know people shit on her bangs. I love her bangs. They're pretty banging.
but oh, who Rosario Dawson?
No, you just said her name.
Then the girl who does lap dance, she's got bangs. What are you talking
She has
about?
bangs.
She
has
does
bangs.
not have bangs. She's got
She
like
totally
I have
has-
the same. Listen, the outfit
No,
she's
she
wearing,
had bangs,
her
didn't she?
hairstyle. No, her outfit and her hairstyle. Like literally, that was exactly
Oh my
what I
God.
looked like
I'm a piece
back
of
in
shit. Yeah,
2007.
no, you're right.
Yeah, thank you. I know.
I'm wrong.
I know. Micah again trying to
The-
mansplain to
The
Aim.
man
Like,
is
look at that.
wrong.
So, and I've literally just, I mean, I've seen this movie because again, like I said, my ex-boyfriend was obsessed with this movie. We watched it, like literally he would watch it, like put it on, like in the background. It was always on. So I rewatched it anyways because I hadn't watched it in like 10 years.
The only way he could get hard.
Oh no, don't say that. Oh, bless his heart. Anyway, I know I was gonna share this episode with him. I probably won't do it now. So anyway, but
Do it.
such a good like commentary on how women are. We do behave this way, and this is not, and I don't think in any way, shape, or form this was to exploit women or to make you
No.
hate them. It was
No.
just to kind of like give you a picture. And in fact, Eli Roth and the other guy, like they were the perverts, and they were
Jaeger shots.
yeah, let's get him Jaeger shots. Like it was
Get him
fucking
Jaeger.
disgusting. Like I would never take a Jaeger shot. Ew. I mean, I have,
Well,
but I throw
hey.
up right afterwards, and then I go back to the bar because I'm
Hey,
like, I
you
can't even keep it down.
Put a little bit of Red Bull in that, you'll do it.
No. I'm too old for that now. If I was 22, sure.
Exactly. Back in 2007, you
Back
found
in
those.
2007.
Back in
yes.
2007, 19-year-old age, with a fake ID, I would buy you so many fucking Jaeger bombs.
Oh my God. I'd be like, who the fuck's this guy at the bar over here?
I was fat. I had a polo shirt, collar
Oh,
top, and a
Yeah.
fucking faux hawk. I was
Yeah.
basically Eli Roth in this movie. I can relate to this character.
oh my God. Okay.
Right nowadays, I'm a good old Kurt Russell, stuffing my face with nachos at the bar, reliving the good old days of being a professional wrestler. In his case, being a stuntman.
Being a stud man. And there's a lot of funny parts to this because, Pam's talking, Rose McGowan's talking to Kurt Russell's character, and she's asking Quentin Tarantino, who's the barkeep, like, oh, who's stuntman Mike? And he's like, oh, he's stuntman. And she's like, well, what does he do? He's a stuntman. Like,
He's a stuntman.
stuntman.
Quentin
So-
Tarantino is one of the worst fucking actors ever, but I adore him in this.
He's really good in this one.
Yeah,
And
in this one, he's good, but normally he sucks.
so I know. So we're gonna finish with Death Proof and get into Planet Terror because we're going a little bit over time. But one last thing I want to say about this one. This one, I feel like a lot of people gave this one a lot of shit. Like in reviews, I guess, like for my friends at least, seeing it, because when you saw it back in the day, Planet Terror came first, and then
Yeah.
this one came on. So this one's a lot more of a slower burn, right?
A very tough act to follow.
Exactly. So I feel that I don't know if it would have been better if they put it first, because then you'd be like, oh my God, that like, am I going to have to do this again a second
No.
time?
No,
And
the reason why that they put Planet Terror First Aid is just like the old Grindhouse double features. They always put the balls to the wall movie first.
okay, which makes sense. So like
That's
you're
exactly
already
why
there,
they
you're already
did what they did.
invested.
Yep.
And another ex-boyfriend of the time who I'm still friends with, so we'll shout him out. Hey Matt. He had seen it, and I remember he was like, I was so stoned I fell asleep halfway. I don't even and I was like, I'm gonna go see it anyway. It's okay. I'm gonna go see it. It's fine. I'll go see it. And I went and saw it. I thought it was great. I really liked it. And honestly, this was a very good depiction of 2007, early 2000s. Like it is a time
Fuck yeah.
capsule. It is such a good fucking movie. I love
Right.
Rosario Dawson. She's my fucking hero. Tracie Thoms is amazing in this too. Like literally,
Can,
Mary
real
Elizabeth
quick.
Winstead is in it. Like,
Oh my God.
hello.
Yeah. But can we
Everybody's in
talk
this
real quick
movie.
about how absolutely insane, in fucking sane Zoe Bell is to make sure that everybody saw her face during that stunt?
Oh
Like
my God.
she strapped to that car. That was like the big thing between her and
Shit
Tarantino,
masked.
is that was her, yeah, that was her like main claim to fame. Like, yeah, she was Uma's stunt woman. She did a lot of stunt work before that too, but that was like it. Tarantino was like, Zoe, you're beautiful, you're fucking awesome, you're talented. I'm gonna make sure people know,
Yeah.
make them know. And he's, as he's saying this, he's got her foot in her mouth, which is crazy. He could talk out of the side of his mouth during this. The whole thing was to put her dead in center. And I love that there's a second set of women in this movie. As you said earlier, it's like a different film. It almost plays on the movie Psycho, where you get a completely different movie after Jamie Lee Curtis's mom gets stabbed there.
Mhm.
But real quick, Aid, I know you were talking about all the girls, obviously Kurt, Eli, Quentin. We just, God damn it, we got to give it up to Michael Parks. Michael Man's Game Parks, the reoccurring character in Rodriguez films and Tarantino films
Yeah.
as the sheriff. God bless his heart. He died back in 2017 at the age of 77. I mean, he's dead forever. But goddamn, I fucking love Michael Parks so much. Like, everybody loves Tusk. If you don't,
Ugh.
you at least, if you don't love Tusk, you at least love Michael Parks. Michael Parks was amazing in Red State. He's incredible in
Oh my
fucking
God.
anything
Red State is
you
so
put him
hard
in.
to watch. Ugh.
It is so hard to watch,
Ugh.
but the fact that Michael Parks is so goddamn incredible. I consider Michael Parks up there with De Niro. I consider him up there with Harvey Keitel, fucking Pesci, Brandel. I consider Michael Parks one of the greatest actors to ever live, but nobody talks about him.
No,
It's
and
a disservice.
well, and that's another thing because he's a part of all of these cult films and quote cult films. And I shouldn't say they're cult films, but they are.
Exploitation films, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. It sucks, but I think he does. There's a lot of these people and that Quentin Tarantino continually uses that are so good in his films. Like you never see them in anything else. And it's like, it's sad because it's like, or people don't even know who they are if you say it. Right. So it's just whatever. And the last thing we're going to say about Death Proof before I go on my tangent is that, um, the last thing I want to say, I'm sorry, I have to say this over again because I just lost my train. Oh, the last thing I want to say about Death Proof is that if you're not paying attention, there Death Proof and Planet Terror are in the same universe.
Yeah.
Death Proof comes first because they do mention in Planet Terror, rest in peace, Jungle Julia on the radio, plus the hospital scene, Marley Shelton's character, Dakota's in both films, and so is Michael Park's character in both films. He's the sheriff in both films.
Which also means From Dusk Till Dawn is in the same universe.
Yes. And I wanted to talk about that, but who the hell knows if we'll have enough time because we're already at an hour. So we have to continue on. So now to Planet Terror really quickly. I mean, this might be a little bit longer of an episode. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
But so Planet Terror, the first feature in the Grindhouse, but we're talking about it second. So just so everyone understands what's happening with it, a quick recapitulation. A dangerous government experiment unleashes a gas that turns an entire town into flesh-eating zombies. Now a group of ragtag survivors must make their way to a helicopter to escape the scourge. So quick little bullshit there. Oh, by the way, Greg Nicotero is involved with both of these films with their special effects. So I think that's really important to acknowledge.
Absolutely. And our main man, Tom Savini.
Tom Savini, and Tom Savini also acts in Planet Terror. He's Deputy Tolo, who loses his finger. Like, I think it's so funny.
I fucking love Tom Savini.
I
Everybody
love
loves Tom
him.
Savini.
I hear he's not very nice in real life, but again, I don't fucking care. Like, he's not here
No.
and put on this planet
I
to make me a happy person. So.
everybody has a shitty story to tell about Tom Savini. I had a great experience with Tom Savini. I think he's wonderful.
So with this one, I want to go with the cast really quickly. Now, Robert Rodriguez, first and foremost, love all of
Stud.
his fucking movies.
Stud.
Well, he's gorgeous, but
Yes,
I
he is.
love all of his fucking movies, like
What's your
everything
favorite?
he does. Well, we were going to talk about that earlier. My favorite, obviously, is Desperado.
Oh my god, mine too.
Oh,
Yeah.
twinsies.
It goes Desperado, and then From Dusk Till Dawn for me, and then Planet Terror.
Oh my God. Yeah, same.
Wait,
Oh, that's
did
sweet.
we just become best friends?
We did. Okay, so all right. And that's the thing. If you do not appreciate Robert Rodriguez, then we can't be friends because firstly, I mean, yes, he's Mexican, but I just, I think it's really important that we have more, Latin influences, especially in the horror community, because I don't think we have enough that are influential the way he is.
Just like a fade.
Yeah, like Fede Alvarez and all of that. So anyways, we're just gonna go ahead and move on. I don't want to blaze through this. So this episode may be a little bit longer, goons. I'm sorry for that. So a little bit of drama. Now, first drama.
Please.
This is just cheese, man. This is just, we're girls, we're talking. So Robert Rodriguez was married to Elizabeth Avian, who also she produces this film as well as Death Proof and other films, right? And they
She's
were married.
Gorgeous.
They were married up until like 2008, I want to say, or
Oh, so
2007.
shortly after this, huh?
But he and Rose McGowan got together in like 2006. So I was trying to like look up without having to explicitly write it, like what ruined their marriage. And I'm wondering, I'm just speculating this because I know Rose McGowan is having some shit right now, so I don't want her coming for me. But I am wondering.
I like Rose McGowan.
I love her.
Rose
I love
McGowan,
her.
Rose McGowan, that poor girl. And I know she had a lot of work done recently, and she's like almost unrecognizable.
Well, she was unrecognizable here because I had looked it up back in the day, and this is when Google sucked asshole. I'm like, why
Yeah.
does she look so different from Scream? I know she's older, but there's something. She had gotten in a really bad car accident and had plastic surgery in her face. So I'm sure you knew that. I know that Rose McGowan, whatever, I don't want her coming for me. So I'm not insinuating that she did anything or whatever. I know that she's had some issues with Robert Rodriguez, and she said that he exploited her because he knew the story between she and Harvey Weinstein, but she was cast in the movie in spite of Harvey Weinstein because she had sued him 10 years prior to this, which I thought this was like a brand new thing that happened.
That was swept under the rug. That was not common knowledge.
She told Robert Rodriguez. So he cast her in spite of Quentin Tarantino, which brings me to not Quentin Tarantino, in spite. All right.
You're doing it too.
Robert Rodriguez cast her in spite of Harvey Weinstein to stick it to him, in spite of what Harvey Weinstein wanted, because he didn't want her in this film. So in retaliation, Harvey Weinstein slashed the marketing budget and basically fucked this movie. So this movie, the budget was $23 million. It made $11.4 million in the box office.
What?
I want to repeat that. $23 million budget made 11.4. Harvey Weinstein sabotaged this film because Rose McGowan was in it.
No.
Yes. And
oh my god, him and his egg-shaped dick could go fuck himself.
I know. And also the Quentin Tarantino's rapey character in that film was basically Robert Rodriguez mimicking the type of person Harvey Weinstein is.
Oh my god. And just like Quentin Tarantino, Harvey Weinstein's genitals slimed and fell out of himself.
Oh, that's so nasty. So I just want to say, like, there's a lot of cheese made with this one, guys. So if you want to look up some more, you can. There's a lot to read, but I
I didn't know this.
Yeah, no, I was getting so excited. I was like laying in bed because I was so sick the other day. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to say this.
Oh my God, thank you.
So I thought it was interesting. And I know that, since then, Robert Rodriguez and Rose McGowan have been arguing because she says that he exploited her and he's denying it. I don't know what the fuck's going on with those two. I'm not going to get into the middle of this because to me, it just looks like a couple who's very bitter and they're just talking shit. So you can't really, I'm not going to get into that with them.
Well, hey,
I,
let's fuck all
yes.
that shit. How about we talk about the cast of Planet Terror?
Yeah, let's get into the cast. There's
Oh
a
my
really good
God.
cast.
First and foremost, let's talk about the fact that Bruce Willis has such a minor part in this movie, but it's such a surprise to see Bruce Willis in this, which, of course, as I said before, Aid, these movies are an homage to the old Grindhouse films because that's exactly what they would do sometimes. They would drop a bunch of greenbacks and get themselves a big Hollywood actor for a very, very tiny ass role and exploit the shit out of it, put them on the poster and stuff. And then when you watch the movie, they're in it for like 2 minutes tops. And that was an homage with Bruce Willis.
Yeah, no, I know. I read the same thing, but I'm sure you probably knew before me. Like I literally had just read that. So I thought that was a good.
Here I thought I was giving you something new.
No. If I hadn't looked it up, just give me 1 second. Oh my God, I hate you. We can't take that out of the video, Micah.
That's the point. I'm having fun here. Send them to Damn That Scary 42069, please. I'm looking at you, Aid.
Oh my God. Okay. So, like I said, Doug edits the video. So, Doug, please take that out. Thank you. Anyway,
Rest
moving
in
on.
peace, Doug. I hope.
Anyway, all right.
Anyways.
So, back to the cast. Bruce Willis. Firstly, oh my God. I'm really sad that, all he's going through all of this shit. Love you, Bruce. So sorry.
Oh my God. What a.
It's a depressing thing.
Die Hard is one of the most bonerific movies of all time.
Mhm.
I can't say a bad thing about Bruce Willis. I love Bruce Willis so much. The fact that he went through that fucking jungle that they filmed the movie Predator in, also known as Demi Moore's bush, to just goddamn, I just love Bruce Willis. I don't know where I was going with that.
You had to mention her bush, like seriously.
Yeah, that war scene in Stump was filmed in Demi Moore's bush. Did you know that?
I hate you. But so yeah, Bruce Willis. I mean, just having him there, I think, is such a good.
Great, absolutely great.
Yeah.
And, like a lot of the stories about Bruce Willis is that he is just a cool fucking dude.
Yeah, no, he's great. I love him in this one. I think he's a really good integral part to the film, and for not being such a big character. And you always remember him because I know he comes on at like the beginning of the movie. So
yeah, absolutely. And at the end, right?
Yes, and at the end. And but he was actually, Quentin Tarantino wanted him for Death Proof, which I thought was interesting. So at least he got into Planet Terror and all of those other actors that we mentioned in Death Proof that were supposed to be Stuntman Mike, they couldn't do it for schedule conflicts. So it wasn't like they said no to this movie.
He really picked John Travolta over Kurt Russell.
That's what I read. I mean, I think John Travolta would have been a good creep, but he's worked with John Travolta before
in Pulp Fiction, which actually saved John Travolta.
Yes, it did. But he was chubby in that movie because I remember my mom saying he got fat.
Yeah, which I mean, that was fine. He was a fat hitman.
Well, I don't think he was fat. I think he was still cute, but whatever.
He had a dad.
I don't care. He looked good. I mean, I don't know. He was still cute to me.
Hey,
anyway,
look who's talking now, eh?
He's cute in those movies too. Okay, we're not talking about John Travolta. So back to Planet Terror. I want to get into some of the trivia because I think it's really interesting, and you probably already know all this. So if you know it, don't say you already knew or make me feel badly. I mean, you can, but don't interrupt.
I'm not gonna pull an Aid.
No, I didn't interrupt you. I didn't be like, I already know. I just meant like if in the middle of me saying it, don't be like, oh, I already know. So anyways, I'm cutting all of this out. This is not good. Anyways, Robert Rodriguez. He came up with the idea when he was doing The Faculty, which I thought was so fun. And he was telling Elijah Wood and Josh Hartnett at the time he wanted to cast them in the movie. So this was all the way back in 98. So 10 years prior, 11 years prior. No, 9, because I can't do math. I teach English. I'm sorry, guys.
Now,
So,
hey, could you imagine Josh Hartnett in the role of Freddy? Freddy's Jesus Christ, Freddy Rodriguez's character, other than
El
Freddy
Rey.
Rodriguez. I
Yeah.
would have preferred Josh Hartnett.
I like El Rey. I think he's adorable.
He's fine.
No, I just, there's something about him. And one of my
He's
favorite scenes in the film is when they're sitting at the table and
at the
they're
diner.
talking. Yeah.
That's my
Because,
jacket.
yeah, that's my jacket. I look for it for 2 weeks, right? And
How
it
long did
all
you look for
comes
me?
back. Well, he's like, but the jacket belonged to me. You didn't. And I was like, I love this. I love
Yeah.
every part of that scene. I am like so obsessed with that scene. It's one of my favorite.
It's that scene and the scene with Josh Brolin and
Oh
what's
yeah.
her nuts Marley
Marley
Shelton.
Shelton. Yeah.
Is the scene in that where he's like, oh, your friends work pretty fast. Those two scenes really stand out to me.
Oh yeah. There's something about the way, and Quentin Tarantino does not the same thing, but he does a lot with his characters that you're just like, Robert Rodriguez does a lot with his characters that you are just so invested in the scene and you're just entranced, but in a completely different way. So you're watching Quentin Tarantino does it like in a slower kind of paced way. Robert Rodriguez has more of a, I can't explain it, but the tone is very different. I'm sure if I was more articulate, then I could explain it better. But just the interaction between characters is so profound.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there like, oh my God, he's gonna fucking kill her. Like with Marley Shelton and Josh Brolin. And
If
see,
Robert Rodriguez's work, I find is better than Tarantino's with those two scenes alone. But if you go back to something from Dusk Till Dawn, the scene between George Clooney and Harvey Keitel at the table at the bar, where Harvey Keitel has enough of George Clooney's shit and just calls him out, and he's like, "Are you that much of a fucking loser that you don't know that you actually won?" Like that's Rodriguez's style.
yeah,
Where Tarantino
he's more
is more
abrasive, I would say.
so
Yeah.
yes, okay, yeah, that would be the word.
Okay. Oh, did we figure it out?
Abrasive. A good old Robert Rodriguez. I've always considered the Brillo pad of Hollywood.
Well, oh my God.
Demi Moore's Bush of Hollywood.
But even like at the end of Planet Terror, when she's leaning over El Rey and they're talking, I'm over here like, oh my God, that's like the worst.
Aw.
Like I get so upset because I just think that it's just such a good, the chemistry between the characters, the writing, everything, like for a Grindhouse picture, for something that's not supposed to be taken very seriously, it
Yeah.
does have moments where you do take it very seriously. I mean, even with Tony's death, for example, like when the kid shoots himself in the car, he had his son play that role because he felt bad putting anybody else's kid in that situation, right? But then
Yeah.
Tony comes back after the credits. He made it after all.
He made it.
Which I never watched the end credits until the other day, and I was like, oh my God, little fuckers, they're playing with things. So, and that kid's probably like, he's a grown-ass man now. But there's a lot of homage to John Carpenter here as well. But I just think that like with the machine gun in the leg, there's so many like little foreshadowing pieces in the film, even in Death Proof, they always keep focusing on the right leg, right? Like in Death Proof,
The leg flew
Jungle
out the window.
Julia's leg flies out. You see her legs. Her legs are the entire movie. All you see are her legs.
Rose McGowan, when she was in the bathroom at that truck stop, pulling that shard of
Glass out of her leg.
glass out of her leg. Yeah.
And even like when she's zipping up her boot, they're focusing on her right leg. And so, at some point, okay, something's going to happen. Well, we know because we see her gun leg on the cover, but
Yeah.
I just think it's a good way, especially with a horror film. And I guess you need guns in zombie films because usually with slasher films, like I think it's such a weak way to have like a slasher with a gun because
One of my biggest complaints about Terrifier is that Art pulled a gun out.
Yeah, we talked about that with Jenna Cannell, and she says that that's the kind of character that is because he can't
dirty.
win. He can't win
Dirty.
unless he cheats.
Yep.
And when she said that, like it clicked with me. Okay, I can see that.
I get that, but it
I
was
get
still,
that.
it was,
I do, but I,
yeah. It
again,
was still like, I was in the, I saw Terrifier in the theater, and we were all just like, oh, what? When he pulled the gun out of his ass.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. But with I guess with zombie films, you always need the guy, even with Walking Dead, all of that, you need the
a gun.
guns.
Yeah, you need it.
So, which makes sense, but especially with gun violence and at the time that it came out, it was only a few years. Oh, not a few years. Oh my God. It was like 7 years. We're still at war. And oh my God. But like, I feel like to have all of that gun violence in that film then works. Would that work now? I don't know. Because it's really glorifying having these weapons, especially putting it on her leg, but it empowers her as well. And so
Bingo,
I don't
that's
think
the
of
word.
it. I don't think of it as anything wrong, but I grew up with this film. I don't know how it would be perceived now, is what I'm saying.
And the way she's firing that gun off is that she's actually sorry, cut that. She's actually doing Kegels. Every time she does a Kegel, it fires off a round. So Rose McGowan has like the tightest pussy ever. So she's like plop, 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 plop. Meanwhile, she is just training that snapper.
Thank you, Micah, for that
You're
education on
you're
Kegels
welcome.
today.
You're welcome.
So, but there's a lot of other fun trivia, which for some reason I always thought that Freddy and Robert Rodriguez are related. They are not. Freddy Rodriguez is actually Puerto Rican, so
Shut the fuck up. They're not related.
they're not related.
Oh my God. No.
Everybody thinks they're related. They're not related.
Stop. I thought that
They're
was his
not.
brother.
No.
What the piss? Why did he cast him and not Elijah Wood? Why did he cast him and not Josh Hartnett? What the fuck? Aid. What?
Oh no.
Freddie Rodriguez
For those of you who can't see, Micah just took his hat off. So this must really
Oh God,
be
my
so
power.
funny.
I'm so weak. Oh
my God.
Are you fucking kidding me? This whole time I thought that was his brother.
That was like the biggest takeaway, and not the biggest takeaway, but when I read that, I was like, because I was looking, I'm like, well, how are they related? And I couldn't see anything, because usually when you look up one, you'll see, okay, siblings, and then he should have
Because
popped up.
Freddie Rodriguez is normally a voice actor. He does shit in like Family Guy and Teen Titans and shit.
Yeah,
like that.
he's in sitcoms or he's in like, dramas. He's not, he's cute, but I mean, I wouldn't say like, oh, hey, but I think he's cute in this movie because he's sexy. There's something about him. I don't know.
Yeah, all 5'5" of him.
He's the bad boy though. But you know what? I
Hey,
dated a short guy before. I mean, they're not terrible. Like, come on.
hey, you put a big oversized leather coat on a tiny guy that weighs about $130. Yeah, sure, whatever.
You're so mean.
A regular old Robert Downey Jr. over here. Okay, all right,
No.
whatever. I'll say that for another time. I like
Okay.
my badasses to actually be badass. That's why Predator is the greatest film ever.
Oh my God. We're not arguing about that today.
Greatest film ever.
I saw your post and I just
Yeah, you
looked
did.
at it
Yeah.
and I'm moving on.
You got
Anyway.
moist.
Okay. So obviously a lot of inspiration from John Carpenter. Planet Terror is also the second film, and I didn't know this. It's also the second film in which both Freddy Rodriguez, your favorite person, and Stacey Ferguson were together, but not in the same scene. And Stacey Ferguson, of course, is Fergie Ferg. They were both in Poseidon, which I remember her in Poseidon. I don't remember him.
Wait, the one with Kurt Russell?
No, the one with, it was Kurt Russell. I thought it was Richard Dreyfuss. Was Kurt Russell in the new Poseidon?
The Poseidon Adventure, like the remake of the one that Gene Hackman and
yeah, because I watched the old one.
Yeah,
I saw
Gene
the old
Hackman,
one.
Ernest Bernstein, Ernest Bernstein.
Okay. All right, Micah.
Okay, you don't watch SpongeBob. Mermaid Man. Mermaid Man and Gene Hackman were in that movie.
Okay. Well, I watched the old one back in the day with my mom. The new
Yeah, it's
one that I
great.
saw, I don't remember anything except the biggest thing I remember is Fergie walking up to, was it Sheriff, what is it? Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and they hug each other and then the fucking everybody dies.
And then she pissed that, and then Fergie pissed her pants. It wasn't even in the script, but it's crazy that they kept it in the movie.
You
And
know,
that's actually what caused the boat to flip over.
oh, I believe it.
Yeah, Fergie's vagina.
That was the whole thing with that the shitty remake, whatever. But I didn't even remember Freddy Rodriguez being in that, but I thought that was a cool fact. And then, it's
Huh.
just the kill count. This was what I want to talk about because
Oh,
this is a horror
yes.
podcast after all. We have a total of 281 deaths in this film. El
Is that
Rey,
more than RoboCop?
I probably not, but you'll
Okay.
have to ask Jake. I can't talk about Robo House because Jake has a monopoly on that.
Did you say RoboHouse?
RoboCop. Why did I say Robo House? Why did I? Okay,
Can't
because
talk about RoboHouse.
you know what? Shush. I'm
I
tired
never
and
shush.
and guys, I know I sound like a drag queen in heat right now, but it's because I'm sick. So
Yeah.
if I sound awful, I'm very sorry.
Aid has a huge ego.
Uh
But yeah,
anyways,
okay.
281 people die. Go ahead and Google your RoboCop.
I
El
am.
Rey
You keep
has
going.
El Rey has 52 kills, Cherry has 50, and Sheriff Haig has 13. So they had the top kills in the whole film, which I thought was interesting. How many kills in RoboCop, sir?
I don't want to talk about it. I was wrong.
Oh, were you wrong? You were trying to mansplain and yet wrong once again.
All right,
Is this our?
Hot Shots Part 2 has the highest kill count ever.
No.
Yeah.
Well, okay. This is our dynamic where I just prove you wrong. Like
The
all the
Titanic
time.
has the highest kill count ever, okay? Independence Day has the highest kill count ever, all right?
I don't know. Anyway, so we're moving on. Moving right along. So again, a lot of drama with this one. The problem is that so out of the two of these, before we go, which do you think is the better film? Is it Death Proof or Planet Terror?
That's really, really hard. That's like asking you what is your favorite testicle. They're both, or in your case, what's your favorite tittery? Now it's either the left or the right, right? I mean, it's really hard to say because in Planet Terror, you have Man's Game Josh Brolin, Man's Game Michael Bean. You have Rose
Yeah.
McGowan, whose Man's Game is fucking that. You got Freddie Mercury. You have a slew of actors. Obviously, the guy at the diner. My God, in heaven, I forgot his fucking name. He's in Machete. He's Man's Game as fuck. He's awesome. You got Bruce Willis. You got the guy cutting balls off left and right.
Jeff Fahey.
Oh my God, Jeff fucking Fahey. I love him so goddamn much, and I am embarrassed. Go listen to my podcast, damn, that's scary. But you have a whole plethora of these amazing characters. You have Robert Rodriguez being absolute Robert Rodriguez. You have Tom Savini, who is just so incredible. And I know I mentioned Michael Bean, but he gets mentioned again because Michael Bean is fucking great and he deserves more than what he got in Hollywood. But then again, you go to Death Proof. You have this, you have incredible dialogue. You have an incredible cast of characters. You have a great fucking story. One of the best endings to any movie I've ever seen. You got Zoe Bell proving the fact that she has an iron clit. And it's so hard to like decide which one is your favorite movie, but at the end of the day, I gotta go with the Splatterfest gore bath itself, Planet Terror. I love Planet Terror so much. Planet Terror is such a goddamn good time. I could watch that any time of day. I could watch it at a funeral. Death Proof also a blast too. A very, very, very close second. But at the end of the day, Aid, I gotta go with Planet Terror. I gotta go with Planet Terror, and this whole thing is great. If you watch the whole thing, including all the faux trailers, absolutely phenomenal. This was a great homage to the old Grindhouse features. It's the closest thing we have to Grindhouse. There's a lot of films now that try to emulate that shit, and it just, to me, it falls flat. Um, I love Planet Terror. I love Death Proof both. I love this whole thing as a whole.
Mhm.
I said whole. But I gotta go with Planet Terror. Id 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I you
Big
know,
deal.
I agree.
Oh, and one more thing. Also, Planet Terror has it's go go, not cry cry, which I just love that so much.
Oh, and speaking of, the guy who plays the go-go, I forget his name, but the guy who plays the guy who owns the go-go club, he's actually Robert Rodriguez's realtor in real life, and he just cast him.
Shut
And
up.
he's not acting in the movie. That's just how he is. And I'm like, that is so great. Because he's
No
not an actor. That
way.
guy's not an actor. He's a fucking real
I've
estate
never
agent.
seen him in
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, no, he's a realtor. And he's like, I wrote this part for him because this is how this guy is. And I just want him to be in the movie.
You know
So,
that guy gets chlamydia at least 3 times a year.
oh, probably. I mean, he had the babysitter twins all over him. So good for him. He had a good time.
Hey, you two, save it for the stage. Quit making out back here.
So
What?
I know, like that. I mean, that's how he is in real life. So I just think that's so hilarious.
God
So
bless him.
yeah, I know. And I don't necessarily think, well, whatever. We're not going to get into any of that. But anyways, going on, I agree with you. I do, as a horror films go, I enjoy Planet Terror more. I think it has a little bit more. I like the little love story between Cherry and El Rey. I do like that because
Adorable. Absolutely adorable.
I love shit like that in my horror films. We didn't need that in Death Proof because Death Proof, the focus is the women. I think the Death Proof, not that it's not a horror movie.
I think it is.
I think it's a different kind of horror movie. So it just depends on what you're in the mood for, I guess. I'm always in the mood for Planet Terror. And I love Death Proof though. It's like, oh my God, I love them both. So it's really a hard decision to make. But if I have to choose to watch one for the rest of my life, it would probably be Planet Terror because I really do love all the blood and guts
Now
and gore
that's
and all
what
of that.
kind
Yeah.
of was the precursor to this episode. Was you and I talked about our love for Planet Terror.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why
Yeah.
we came together with this episode. So I think that, oh, it all came around. Oh.
This is a foundation of our friendship, Aid.
I know. So that's exciting. I love that. So,
Absolutely.
and then with other Grindhouse films, I said my favorite was Black Christmas, really quick before we end this. But I told Micah the other day that I can guess which one his favorite is. And so can I just guess? Or
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think your favorite one is Maniac, in my opinion. Are you throwing away your notebook because I'm correct?
You're totally right. Maniac is my absolute favorite. I'm such a sucker for Maniac. I watched Maniac for the first time when I was 17 years old. When I was out here visiting. I'm recording in Reno, Nevada. I was living in Pennsylvania at the time. I came out here to visit my dad, and this is before my dad was retired. So I went to a mom and pop shop. I rented a bunch of movies, and one of them was this movie Maniac, and I fell in love with it. And my dad actually walked in during a scene, and it was the scene where he's making out with the one sex worker in the hotel room, and my dad just walked in, stared at it, and went, "Yeah, hookers don't kiss you like that," and then he walked out. And that like stuck with me forever. I love Maniac. It's one of my comfort films. But a close second, Aid, Basket Case, followed by Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things.
Yeah, and children shouldn't play with dead things. Like nobody talks about that movie.
It's so good. Now,
It's so good.
for the listeners, I want to point out that there is something on Netflix. I hope it's still on Netflix. I hope I'm not wrong. If you don't know a good amount of obviously everybody knows Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We all know a couple of the films we talked
Cannibal
about,
Holocaust. Like those are ones
Yeah.
I think that comes to everybody's
absolutely.
forefront. I Spit on Your Grave. Yeah.
Last House on Left. If you really, really, really want to find really good grindhouse films, really good exploitation films, I implore all of you to watch Mad Ron's Previews from Hell.
I watched that.
Oh, you did?
And I downloaded a bunch of movies off that list.
Okay, Aid. Now, listeners of slashers, Aid is a perfect example of what this movie could do for you. It's an hour and 20 minutes long. It's hosted by this guy, Mad Ron, and a fucking puppet. He's
It's
a
a-
ventriloquist.
It's very, very poor quality, everybody. Like, it's fucking is so bad.
You say poor quality, I say perfect. And it takes place at a movie theater, and it's just like these two hosting a nonstop array of Grindhouse exploitation movie trailers. And it is just something wonderful. If you watch this, you could find out that Rob Zombie actually got a lot of his shit from these fucking movie trailers.
Yes.
A lot of his like use my body to keep you alive, the different sounds that he has at the beginning of his songs come from these trailers. Yeah, everybody go watch Mad Ron's Previews from Hell. It's the perfect way to get to know these movies and write them down, watch it with a notebook, enjoy yourself, roll yourself a horse's leg size joint, and just enjoy the shit out of this.
Yeah, they discussed one of the best. I downloaded a bunch of them. My favorite one from the list was Sisters. It's actually a Brian De Palma film starring Margot Kidder, and
Yep,
it's so fucking good. Like, it is fucked up. It's good. I mean, it's not as fucked up as some of the other ones, but I thoroughly enjoyed that film. So some of them are a little like, I know I'm not gonna like it, but
lot of rape.
a lot of violence against women there. But again, I think that's where we get the rape revenge
Yeah.
genre from, is from films like this. So I mean, you just have to roll with the punches, right? Anyway,
a very good. Now, I know I said a lot of these films that come out now, they try to emulate the Grindhouse films. If I could put one film over that absolutely does capture the essence of the Grindhouse exploitation films, is a film called Run, Bitch, Run.
okay.
Have you seen this?
I have not.
Now, it is on the same vein of Last House on the Left, I Spit on Your Grave, but it was made in I'm gonna say before 2010. I don't know exactly, but Run Bitch Run is one of the few films that came out in the last 20 years that truly captures the feel of an exploitation Grindhouse feature.
Yeah, like, sorry, I was just reading something. I'm going to cut this out. No, I think that's really good. I'm trying to look it up right now. Hold on. But that's the thing. I just can't. That's my only thing with those types of movies, because
I know rape in movies is hard to watch. I love the movie Mother's Day so much. It was the only movie done by Lloyd Kaufman's brother, but the rape in that was so unnecessary.
Run Bitch Run is actually on Tubi right now. So if y'all want to check it out,
Go check it out.
check it out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing with these types of films, but a lot of the times when they incorporate rape in them, and I'm not making an excuse for this, it's usually like a comeuppance, the same way,
exactly.
in the same vein that the sort of Planet Terror is, because Rose McGowan's not assaulted, but Quentin Tarantino's character is trying to
He's
rape her.
trying to get his quote unquote dick wet.
His dick wet. So,
And you know what? His dick got really wet in that. And
oh
it
my
fell
God,
off.
it was so nasty. Like,
What
oh,
was he gonna do at that point? Just scissor her to death?
I don't know, but even at the beginning of the movie where the other doctor in the doctor's office, like, showing all of these like bad, like, things happening to people's genitalia and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? It's
Oh,
so
God.
nasty.
Right?
So, just watch where you stick it, people. I guess that's what is it? It's a life lesson, or the moral of the story kind of thing.
Yeah.
So with
Sometimes
that,
penicillin can fix it. Sometimes you're just fucked.
oh my God. So, okay, we're coming up at the end. This is not a damn that scary. We're not going to be talking for 2 hours. It's already an hour and a
don't know what
half
you're
at
trying to
this
say.
point. I know, but you guys like to talk so much. It's so cute, but I can't,
He's my best
physic-
friend. We have a lot to say.
Yeah, but Greg is okay with editing 3-hour episodes. Ed is
Yeah.
not. So
Ed just Ed, Jesus Christ. I've been drinking. Greg just eats a bunch of mushrooms. He sits in front of the computer and he does his magic. And God bless him so much. He's a sweet, sweet boy. Everybody go check out Damn That's Scary. Listen to all the back catalog of the Slashers podcast. I in my heart of hearts, I believe that Slashers and Damn That's Scary are in the top 10 best horror podcasts you could actually listen to. And that includes those top ones that everybody just swings off their nuts. And I'm not going to say their names, but Slashers and Damn That's Scary, we're the best.
I agree. I think that it's really difficult, I know, for people to listen to podcasts, but I always think that, if I can keep it on and leave it on, it's a good show. So I always learn something from Damn That's Scary, despite the fact that Greg is on mushrooms, but I never can tell. But he edits the episode, so I'm sure he makes himself look amazing. So there you go.
Yeah, it's usually 5 hours of audio that we actually record, and Greg, the master behind our show, could actually condense it down to about 90 minutes, sometimes even an hour. God bless his heart.
I know. Good for you, Greg. And, editing is not easy. Podcasts are not easy. So the best way you can support a podcast is firstly, just by promoting them. If you're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you really liked an episode, just kind of drop a plug. It's free. Just say, hey, Slashers podcast / Damn That's Scary gave a point to something that I really loved today. Or, Micah offended me. I can't wait because, bad publicity is still publicity at all, right? So
I've been saying that for years, Aid.
So, whatever, good or bad, just go ahead and throw our name out there. That's one thing you can do for us. Another thing, if you want to support us monetarily, you can go to slasherspod.redbubble.com, and you can look just as hot as Micah in that tank top, because you can get that tank top in several different colors, by the way, everybody, the Mars Attacks, as well as hundreds of other designs, because Jake loves making designs, and we're thinking of making a Damn That's Scary, like Micah homage t-shirt, which I texted to him the other day and he never responded to me, so I guess Micah doesn't give a fuck. But anyways,
well, no, that's the point. I'm not supposed to. That's the character, Aid. Micah 316.
What? Oh, hell yeah. I had one beer. What? A margarita. What? A Bloody Mary, what? Shot of whiskey, what?
I don't even know.
Jake, I'm coming for you.
I don't know what any of that means. So Jake,
that's okay, but you are still turned on by it, and that's what I'm here for.
Okay. Okay. But also, if you want to support us monthly and get bonus Patreon episodes, as well as other cool shit like stickers and accolades from us, and just if you want to talk to us more and be on the Discord with us, you can go to patreon.com/slasherspod. So, or just follow us on Instagram at slasherspod. You can follow me at pathologicallyade. Micah, where can they follow you guys?
You can follow us on Damn That Scary Pod, on all of that shit. That's pretty much it.
Okay. And also
we have a Redbubble, but I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. So Redbubble, probably Damn That Scary 69. Actually, it is Damn That Scary 69 on Redbubble. I'm not making that up.
Okay. Well, there you go. And we also, please make sure you guys follow Doug at Doug Bizarro. He's got a lot of fun shit coming out soon. He's finishing up one of his B movies. I can't wait for y'all to see it. And you can also watch him on B Movie TV on Friday Night Action. You can watch his lovely wife Yahira or Jake on Saturday Night Terrors, also both on B Movie TV, and also Grandpa Oates and his cinema wood chipper.
And it's crazy to me that they're doing this all from beyond the grave, just like Tupac.
I know everybody's dead, but apparently they're all doing TV shows. So, and that's on Sundays. Yep. Again, also B Movie TV for Roku. If you do not have a Roku, get a Roku and follow B Movie TV and come support us, because we'd love your support. Sometimes you'll occasionally see our faces on these things, only at my behest. But yeah, here I love to participate. So there we go. But with that, I just want to say thank you again, Micah, for coming on our show, because I feel like I keep tracking you on here.
You're not dragging me. I love this. I love being a part of slashers. Thank you so much for having me, Aid.
All right. Well, thank you. And if you ever want one of us to come on to Damn That's Scary, we'd love to, but I don't know how we would ever be able to get a word in edgewise with you and your
You gotta
boyfriend.
keep
So
in mind that we record we record really late at night, and we record for literally hours, and we drink a great deal of alcohol. So clear your schedules for at least 2 days and join us.
yeah, well, we'll think about that. So that'll have to be like a weekend kind of thing.
Yeah,
Anyways,
slumber party.
so if you guys want to hear more about Grindhouse, or you're just excited about our wet hot slasher summer, and there's a summer horror film that you're like, oh my God, why the fuck aren't they mentioning it? Go ahead and email me at aidslasherspod@gmail.com, or just DM me on Instagram. Yes, Micah, your hand is up. What can I do for you, dear?
It's a newer film, but I would absolutely love to hear the slasher's take on Nobody Sleeps Alone in the Woods.
Okay.
I would love it. It's a Polish horror film, and there's also a sequel, but that first one
Oh,
is just a fucking blast. It's on Netflix.
okay. Well, we'll have to check that one out. I was actually thinking you were gonna say, and it's on Tubi, is Don't Fuck in the Woods. So if you haven't seen that one, that's definitely a Grindhouse if I ever saw one.
That's a good time too.
Oh, you've seen it. Of course you've seen it.
Aid, come on. Does it have boobs in it?
Oh, yeah, that's true. All right. So with that, Micah, thanks again for coming on with us. Everybody, hope you all had a great week. Goodbye and good die.